It's my intent today to make a video and touch on as many points as I can that might help you if you want to make 40 caliber jacketed bullets out of old 9mm field brass. I'm sure I'll miss something, but I'm going to do the best I can here. Now you see right there on the bench is the lead that we use. I'm going to go over that real quick. I'm going to try to make this fast enough that it doesn't bore you to death. That lead has to be soft. It has to be soft enough that you can cut it with your thumbnail. A lot of fellas say you can't take the tinsel out of lead once it's been cast, but I beg to differ. If you get some lead that's too hard, instead of fluxing it like you normally would, go ahead and get her hot, and then take your scooper and take all of the tin and everything out of it, and save it for when you want to make a hard bullet, and then you can cast some nice soft bullets like this. Right beside it is the actual bullet that's been seated in the 9mm, and beside that is the 40 caliber cartridge case, and beside that is when it's already loaded. Now I don't want to dwell on all this stuff too long. I just want to make it as easy for you as I can. That brass has to be annealed, and that means that it has to be heated so that there's no tensile strength left in it. It gets softer, more malleable. It's not really soft, but you have to heat it up pretty hot. Now what I done, I took and put it in a cookie tray, and I put it in the barbecue and turned on both of those burners, and I let it in there for about an hour. And it comes out and it's really brown and pretty nasty looking. But the trick after that is, if you want to take and clean it, get yourself a tumbler like this, or you probably already got one. And what I learned from C.A. Manny was, if you use this media, it's a tumbling media, and what it is, it's little stainless steel rods. And it works extremely well. You put it in your tumbler with about, a quarter cup of the media, about a tablespoonful of fruit fresh, and a little shot of that dish soap, and run it for about only 15 or 20 minutes. And the result is amazing. You can see here, the inside of this brass, as clean as a whistle. It really does a nice job. And once it's annealed, you want to make sure you leave your primers in it. Don't take the primers out. You need to have a solid base for when you're going to go through the gun. This is what I use to make the lead with. These are 38 caliber slugs, and it's .358 diameter, and it's 125 grains. The other guys were using 9mm slugs, but I found that this fills out the case better, and it goes through the resizer a lot better if you use this. The first thing you want to do is take your case. I lube them with the RCBS lube pad. Now, some guys use wax, some guys use machine oil. It's just on your preference. Everybody's a little different. Take your case, lube it, set it right here in this press. This is just an old Lee press that I've been using just to open the mouth up on these cases. That's the whole idea of what I'm doing right now, just to open the mouth up in this case. And it serves one other purpose too. I think you can see it forms a ridge, or a bump, I guess you'd say, around the base, and this will help it make contact with the rifle and the barrel. And then it opened the mouth so that the lead slips right in there. And let's see, this is what I was using to do the mouthing with. Of course, remember, this is a 9mm brass, but I'm using a 38 caliber die, so it works extremely well. It opens it up enough to do what you want it to do, and then it forms that little bump at the bottom. Any die will do, I think. It doesn't have to be an RCBS die, it just happens to be what I'm using at the time. Now, this press here is the one I'm using to go ahead and seat the bullet into the case. It's a 220 Swift. Now, it's an RCBS die. I ordered it offline because I don't have a 220 Swift. But I made the mistake originally of ordering a 220 Swift die from Lee. Lee makes great stuff, don't get me wrong. But the Lee has a little air port at the top in the die, and it catches the bullet and it deforms it. So that it's probably not the best thing to put in your gun. So when I figured it out after talking to the factory and sending it back twice, they told me that they put that little port in there. But RCBS doesn't have one. So that makes it pretty handy. Now this outfit here, this is just a 1/4 inch punch. You can get one anywhere. And I put an O-ring on it and a rubber gasket so that it doesn't damage the die in case I ever want to use that the 220 Swift. And on the bottom, the push rod on here, this is a 40 caliber. The guys online were using a 9mm push rod, but if you do that, you run the risk of ramming the lead up in there too far and making a mess out of your bullet. So I found that if you use the 40, it works an awful lot better. And what you want to do is take this and set it on there upside down like that and run it up into the die. And you just pull this down until you feel it make contact with the casing. It'll stop. And that way it won't deform anything. And then I'll show you. Hope you can see. This is flush. The lead's flush with the top of the case. That way everything is ready to go to the next step. Then you set it back on there right side up. Run it back up in. And drop that, oops. And what you wind up with is the finished bullet. And it also makes another little bump up here, which also makes it better for when you get ready to go through the rifling in the gun. I'm going to swing over to the next one. This one is pretty simple stuff. This is just a resizer die. And it's the sizer for the 40 caliber bullet. And it's a Lee. There's one sitting there beside it too, but it happens to be a Lee 40, and the pusher rod that I'm using on it is a 9mm. So, set the case on, and just run it up in there, and now that's all ready to go through the gun. I hope I didn't miss anything, and I hope this has been of some help. Once we get them all loaded up and ready to go in the case, you usually take these and run them through the vibrator polisher with walnut hulls, and that polishes off the swagging lube and makes them fit nice and tight into the outfit. Here, this is one that's already loaded. That's a pretty nice looking bullet. Incidentally, they work out to about an average of 188 grain bullet. And it's hard to find the loading data for a 188 grain bullet. So what I've done, I take 185 grain and 190 grain, and then do the math and figure it out to match. You can match these up before you put them together. You can match a shell and the lead if you want to, or like I do it, I just run a bunch of them and then I just weigh them all and put them into different categories and take them out to the range and poke some holes in the target. I hope this helps you out some. I hope it was informative. It's an awful lot of fun to do, and if you got any questions, just post them here, and if I can, I sure will answer them. See ya. Bye.